Hi, everybody. Roger and I are here, or in our new studio, which is my office in O'Fallon at Integrity. And this is our first actual podcast together where we are not.
It's like somebody's home.
Right. I try to make it look like my home. If I'm going to be away from home for that many hours, I want it to feel like home. But this is our first podcast. So for the first time in, I guess, about 6 years, we are not at the radio station. We are officially recording a podcast instead of doing a radio show. So we'll probably call it our radio show forever, even though it won't be the radio show. But now you'll have the option to be able to go out to SoundCloud or Apple Podcast to download these and to share them with friends, share them on Facebook, and just to be able to take this data and use it however you need it. So we plan to do this every week. We will do a Facebook Live, but then as soon as we're done with this live, what we'll do is we'll be uploading that again to SoundCloud or Apple Podcasts. So please search for it out there when you want to hear it in its entirety. Today's show is sponsored by our same sponsors that have blessed us so much, and they are also sponsoring our podcast, O'Fallon Nutrition. If you have not taken the trip out to O'Fallon Nutrition, no matter what part of town that you're in, please take the time to visit O'Fallon Nutrition. Go out to o'fallonnutrition.com or like them on Facebook. That is my go-to place when I'm sending a client with a list of supplements that I want them to get, whether it's protein powder, branched chain amino acids, essential oils, grass-fed beef, salad dressing, pasta sauce, seasoning, and toothpaste and deodorant. Literally, we send that. I send them to O'Fallon Nutrition for all of those things. You know, for in years past, I would have to send people to Whole Foods, and they would have to drive far. And I love Whole Foods, nothing against them, but I just have so many clients that don't want to have to go to Whole Foods. And even if Whole Foods is close to them, it just isn't convenient. They don't want to have to go in the busy parking lot. O'Fallon Nutrition is independently owned and operated. They've been in business for over 15 years. I've been sending people there for a long, long time. I trust the staff. I trust that any of my clients that go there to have questions will get their questions answered. For more information on O'Fallon Nutrition, just go out to o'fallonnutrition.com or give them a call at 636-240-5283. And remember that if you are out of town, O'Fallon Nutrition will ship, and the shipping is free for anything over $50. Today we're going to, kind of the first of the years here. We've been in the fitness industry collectively for a lot of years, and we've watched a lot of folks start, in January and end in February. So I think with Roger and I, over the years, what we've tried to do is we've tried to instruct people not just to achieve a short-term goal, not just to drop weight fast, but to literally learn how to live a healthier lifestyle. We're trying to keep you out of the hospital. We're trying to make it to where your weight is where it should be so that you can be healthy. But at the same time, we're helping you achieve some short-term goals, but just making choices, better choices every single day. So we're trying to give you that background education on food and on the formula to stay healthy. So today we want to just start with how to get started down the path of a healthy lifestyle. And I always say, choices make changes. So if you ever see my Facebook post, it'll always say choices make changes. And so to me, it's like one meal at a time. Just look at it that way. Look at it like one meal at a time. I've got to look at this meal, and I got to try to make it and equip it to be as clean as possible, and then move to the next meal. Don't overwhelm yourself and say, the next 30 days, I'm doing this. The next 3 months, I'm doing this. And don't make it so diety. Make it clean.
Yeah, this year is especially weird because of the fact that it started, on a Tuesday.
Yes.
And, for the most part, most people at the beginning of the year say, they put everything off through the holidays. Everybody gains most of their weight in the last 4 weeks of the year, and they always put it off till after the first. And then this year, after the first was a Wednesday.
Right.
And so the first, of course, you've already failed there because you set the wrong date. Then you put the day after that as the wrong date. And so now it's all pushed to tomorrow. Tomorrow is the new first. So it's okay to do that because everybody did that.
Yeah.
Everybody just, because of the fact that they're not used to doing it every week, they do it once a year. Doing it on a weekly basis, it gets a lot easier to kind of understand that dealing with that failure is okay.
Right.
And so now you can basically say, now I can start. And that's one thing I wanted to talk about was starting.
Absolutely. The best way to get started is to get started.
Yeah, getting started and putting the right date on it. So we're to the right date now, which is tomorrow.
Right.
And then understanding that you want to deal with one meal at a time.
Yes.
And dealing with that one meal at a time, it is a big advantage. Whenever you look at it like, 365 days, and if a person on a average eating plan is going to do 3 meals a day, it's getting up around 1,200 meals. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you're like, well, it gets complicated. But again, if you deal with it one meal at a time and then set the rules and parameters for one meal at a time, it gets a lot easier.
Absolutely. And the reality is that you're going to eat either way. So one way or another, you're going to find something to eat. We just want to challenge you to look at that meal and to try to make it as clean as possible. The unfortunate thing is that there are a lot of folks out there that don't know what clean is. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're here for, and that's why we do these podcasts. That's why we share places like Pure Plates and O'Fallon Nutrition. We do this because we're trying to help you to navigate. That's why we have a 5-month nutrition program, because we tell you exactly what to eat, what store to go to, how to get it, how to order. You need help. It's not an easy process, so don't be afraid to hire a professional for that. But focus on clean eating. Don't focus on numbers. Don't focus on counting points. Don't focus on counting your macros. Focus on clean first. Take the month of January and say, everything I'm going to eat is going to be balanced. It's going to be whole food. It's going to be real food. And when you think about cravings and how to walk your way out of cravings, I always teach people, Roger, that you need to have a balanced plate in order to be able to fight cravings. So controlling your blood sugar is the way to control cravings. So if you eat and when you eat, you have a balanced plate, meaning enough protein, enough fat, and enough carbs, you're going to put yourself into a position where you protect that blood sugar from spiking and you protect it from collapsing. So you don't put yourself into a situation where suddenly an hour after eating, you're hungry or you're starving. So every time you eat, you want to kind of look at that plate and say, what am I eating right now that's actually protein? What am I eating right now that's actually fat? What am I eating right now that's actually carbs? Or am I looking down and am I just seeing a plate full of pasta? Am I looking down and I'm just looking at toast and that's it? Am I going to have an insulin spike from this meal? And therefore, an hour to 2 hours after eating, am I going to be looking for a candy bar? Am I going to be looking for an energy drink? Am I going to be looking for a way out of this hunger hole because I really didn't get a complete balanced meal when I ate? So in my opinion, controlling hunger, controlling cravings is controlling your blood sugar.
Yeah, in the eating clean part of it, I always had a really simple way to remember that. Somebody wants to understand, and there's tons of books out there, and they're clean this and clean living and clean eating and clean sleeping, clean everything. Well, when it comes to nutrition, there's a real simple way to remember what clean is. 3 words: kill, dig, pick.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay? What that means is if you can kill it with a stick, pick it off a tree, or dig it out of the ground, it's going to be clean eating.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's really good.
So it pretty much encompasses everything. So if you have that as like my big rule, I don't eat anything I can't kill, anything I can't dig out of the ground or pick off a tree, then I'm not going to eat it.
Right.
And then it kind of makes it to where it's pretty easy to stay in that parameter. And whenever you go to the grocery store, most of those things are never in the middle aisles, of course.
They're not. That was just what I was about to say, is shop around the outside.
Shop around the outside, yeah.
For the first month, when you're trying to approach a healthy diet, try to stay away from bars. Try to stay away from stuff that's like too compact and too processed.
Yeah, you can't pick it off a tree.
Right. I mean, because, yes, maybe there are some that are healthier than others, but none of them are like a perfect formula. So there's a really good chance that you're going to end up with too many carbs through rice or through oatmeal or through honey or through all the different sugars that come in it. Or you're going to end up with too much fructose because they put dates and they put figs and they put blueberries. And so suddenly you're eating something that has 45 grams of fructose in it, and that's like 3 days worth of fructose. So it's really easy to end up getting hungry when you go that protein bar route. And I would be somewhat careful in the beginning if you are not being guided with a protein shake. Don't buy a protein shake from any grocery store. Don't buy a protein shake from any convenience store. Don't buy one from a superstore. buy one from O'Fallon Nutrition, buy one from Integrity, buy one from Whole Foods, buy one from Fresh Time. Yes, then we care about what the ingredients are. What is it made from? What is it derived from? When I look at an egg white protein powder, it's derived from eggs. When I look at collagen, it's come from a whole food source. Look at something that's coming from a whole food source. I never suggest meal replacement shakes. If you're going to consume carbs, in my opinion, I think you should consume the carbs. I don't think you want to consume something that's been so processed, by a facility that we don't honestly know where those carbohydrates really truly came from and how much are in there. So if you're going to have a shake, use it for a protein source, and don't forget to make sure you add a quality fat source like coconut oil, flaxseed oil, nut butter. Just bring a good healthy fat, chia seeds, flaxseed. Bring healthy fats into that shake, and then throw some berries in there. If you want a low glycemic shake, throw some strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, cherries. That's a good place to start. But a lot of times people need convenience, and their convenience means they end up getting a muscle milk shake. You're not going to feel good after a muscle milk shake. You're not going to digest it well. You're not going to lose weight on it. And there just are not good quality ingredients, so you're probably going to end up with a histamine response from it as well. Again, same thing when it comes to the protein bars, is just don't go for convenience like that. Like Roger said, go for whole food, real food. Then I think the last little step when it comes from a nutrition standpoint is, two things, is understanding preparation and what it's going to take to be prepared to be successful, and then understanding how to really get your body equipped and set and ready to where it feels cleansed and ready to be able to take on a new lifestyle. So you're not suffering that feeling of detox for an entire month. First of all, for preparation, if preparation is your primary excuse, and year after year after year, you continue to say, well, I just don't have the time, I have 5 kids. I don't have the time, I have a full-time job. I don't have the time, I have 2 jobs. I can't prepare my food. In that case, don't prepare your food. Go to Pure Plates. Pure Plates is one of our sponsors. It's pureplatesstl.com. They are located in Chesterfield. I eat Pure Plates. John eats Pure Plates. We've had Sophie eat Pure Plates before. They are primarily organic ingredients. They even have grass-fed beef. This is whole food nutrition, and they've made it to where if you're dealing with some blood pressure issues or some blood sugar issues, you can walk into their store and you can just get a pre-prepared meal. And you can sit there in their store and eat it, or you can get a week's worth of pre-prepared meals, or you can have them delivered. If you look at their menu and there's something in a meal that you don't like, you can just change it. You just tell them, take this out, put this in. If your struggle is with preparation, don't let that be your struggle anymore. Use a place like Pure Plates. It's pureplatesstl.com. They have a location down in Chesterfield in the Valley. They also have a location in Kirkwood. But remember, they deliver. They'll deliver out here to Integrity. They deliver to you as well. For more information, give them a call at 636-778-3555. Another form of prep, if you're thinking about how can I do this, how can I get meat for the week, go out to Target and buy a crock pot. That's the first thing you want to start with. Get yourself a crock pot and throw a whole chicken in there.
I want to try one of those Instapots.
Right? Or an Instapot for that matter.
I've been seeing them advertised on TV like crazy.
Get a crock pot and an Instapot.
Yeah.
Because you could slow cook a roast, and then you could cook a chicken in like an hour and a half on an Instapot. Yeah. And then when the roast is out, shred it, take your chicken out, separate it. When your chicken's done in an hour and a half, throw a whole bunch of vegetables in that while you're slow roasting your roast. Get your vegetables made over here. Throw a sheet cake pan full of vegetables in the oven as well. You've got all these vegetables made. You have a roast and you have a whole chicken made. You could also just throw boneless, skinless chicken breast in there, boneless, skinless chicken thigh, a turkey breast in there. Shred it up. Throw it with some vegetables. You really want to get to a point to where you don't just eat raw vegetables like salads, or you just eat steamed vegetables, because you'll get sick and tired of them. Roast your vegetables. It changes everything, doesn't it?
Changes the taste, yeah.
You literally, I have people that eat Brussels sprouts and broccoli that would have never ate Brussels sprouts and broccoli.
Right.
Because they take the time to roast them. all they do is roll them in some avocado oil if they're going to cook them over 350, or they roll them in some olive oil if they're going to cook them around 300, salt and pepper them, throw them in the oven, stick them in there for 30 to 40 minutes. They taste caramelized. It just makes all the difference in the world. You can make 3-4 sheet cake pans at one time. That is a week's worth of vegetables. If you have 2 crock pots going, or even an Instapot where you can cook 2 or 3 things in a day, you can get a chicken breast, a turkey breast, and beef all at one time, or ground up a bunch of ground beef or ground turkey. Now, for convenience, you could go to Dierberg's or Schnucks or Shop and Save, or, well, I guess Shop and Save isn't open anymore, Whole Foods, wherever you're going, and get a rotisserie chicken. Take the skin off and just pull all that meat off and just have a convenient source of meat. You could go to Bandanas and get their meat by the pound. I know Dierberg's and Schnucks will cook your fish for you. So you can walk up to the fish counter and say, can you please make me 3 pieces of salmon?
Or you could just program in your phone and call them on the way.
Absolutely.
It's ready whenever you get there.
Even Dierberg's now sells shredded chicken. Just plain shredded chicken. There are so many options. If you don't choose Pure Plates, which is literally the easiest possible option known to man, they even will make you breakfast for every day, then do something like this. Get those convenience options in there. Even, like I said, something as simple as going to Bandanas and getting a pound of the beef, a pound of the pulled chicken, and a pound of the turkey. You just have that at home, and then your vegetables can be so easily made. You can even saute them in a skillet, but you've got to start thinking, what is going to be my shopping day? Right? Yep. If you don't have the discipline to know, when am I going to the grocery store, you're never going to end up with groceries.
Yeah, I always tell people, buy in bulk, cook in bulk.
Absolutely.
Be done with it.
And the thing is they literally deliver from the grocery store now.
Yeah.
Did you know that? I mean, Dierberg's they will deliver everything to your house.
Even if you want the cooked stuff.
Exactly.
You don't have to cook it. You don't have to go get it.
Exactly.
You got to pay for it.
You right, but it's really not even that much more. And even Whole Foods does delivery now too, right? But the reality is that you're running out of reasons to not eat healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, you just are.
And this kind of getting back to the beginning is where we're talking about getting started. The biggest thing, because of the fact there are so many resources out there to eat right, we've got you telling how to do it. Other people tell you how to do it. There's books to buy on how to do it. There's videos, all kinds of stuff. The biggest thing is making that commitment when you've decided to get started.
Absolutely.
And that's the one thing that I've always told people, that's the one thing I can't do, is I can't make a person want to do it every day. But if a person gets up every day and wants to do it and makes themselves do it, it's really easy to do it. But I can't make them do it. She can't make them do it.
No.
Well, she might be able to. But
we try.
Yeah. But the thing is you have to have that unbelievable commitment level. Because what happens is that, let's just say somebody gets started tomorrow and you do great for the week, and you do great for the next week, and then the next week. And then all of a sudden a trip comes up.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you fall off on the trip.
Yeah.
You're going to try to get back on after the trip, but then somebody's birthday comes up.
Yeah.
But then after that birthday's, you've got another thing. And then all of a sudden, Valentine's Day comes along.
Right.
And then at the end of that month and coming up, you've got the spring coming up.
Yeah, Easter, and someone shoved ham down your face.
Right,
whatever. Exactly.
It's one thing after another, after another, after another. A person has to make the commitment to not do those things.
Right.
That's as simple as that.
It's discipline.
Yeah, you just you commit yourself to doing it, and then you just do it.
Right. Even when it's hard.
The committing to it is difficult, but the actually doing it is really pretty tough sometimes.
It's really just that, it's going to be hard. You have to recognize there are just going to be times where it's not going to be easy. That's why people hire us to coach them.
And that's the problem.
And to hold them accountable.
There's a lot of people out there, lose weight the easy way.
Right.
Lose weight in 3 easy days. Get up and do the easy plan and stuff like that. I'm here to tell you, it ain't easy.
Right, and
that's all there is to it.
And there is no easy way.
That's a country boy way of saying
it. It ain't easy. Right, exactly. Take it. It's take it easy. Okay, it ain't easy. Yeah, it isn't. It really isn't. And I've sat in front of people and I've told them, you've got the wrong impression. This is something that you have to be ready and willing to make a commitment to. And I can't make the commitment, just like he said.
And
you have to do it.
The commitment level is what makes it easy.
Yeah.
It really is. Because when a person is 100% committed to it, it is actually easy to do it.
It is.
Because you can think
stick
about
with
and
it.
find the different ways of doing it.
Right.
But if you're not committed to it and you're already trying to kind of weasel your way out of it in your mind, and, well, I've got this coming up, I need to wait. I mean,
Yes.
you've already put it off a week because the year started on the wrong day.
Right.
Dang calendars.
But it's such a good point, like what you're trying to make, and I hope that everybody is kind of seeing the point that he's making. If you slide into something halfway, it will be so much harder because you will not feel good. You won't feel good. If you eat clean for 5 days and then you go gangbusters on the weekend and just blow it, you will feel like garbage for the next 5 days that next week when you try to go back to eating clean. So you never really get into the genuine cycle of feeling great like you're supposed to. And I had a client the other day that came in my office and he said, man, if this person could just know what it feels like after that 3 weeks, if there was a way you could show them a picture of how good they're going to feel in 3 weeks, they would stay committed to that 3 weeks. But when they blow it after 10 days, I'm not saying you can't get back on track, because you can, but when you blow it after 10 days, it makes it so much harder because you feel like garbage. And then you kind of like reset and go back to square one again. So like what Roger's saying is if you can make the commitment and truly commit yourself to it and say, I'm going to stick this out. I'm going to make sure 6 weeks from now I'm doing this. I'm doing it the way I should be doing it. It actually at that point will become easier, because your blood sugar will be under control more. Your body's just going to be more balanced. It's going to be less inflamed. And so as time goes on, it gets easier and easier and easier, because it's a physiological change in your body, and your body's actually accepting and receiving the food better. Throwing a bunch of garbage into it in the meanwhile, it's just going to really kind of mess you up. Now, let's say you stay committed to it for 2 months, 3 months, and there is a situation that comes up, and you do decide to eat at the party or eat at the whatever or on the trip. Life goes on, then you reset, you get back on track, you're back in the game again. You do that the first week, you're going to feel like dirt.
Yeah, and this time of year, what's going to be really popular coming up are the challenges. You've got the Biggest Loser challenges at work.
Right.
You've got the 20-day detox challenge.
Right.
You've got the 14-day shred challenge.
Right.
You've got, and again, they're all put together in some weird concoction, and who knows what it is.
Right.
But the thing is that they're all set up to where you conform to a certain way of life during that time frame. That's actually an advantage, because of the fact that you're committing to doing this, and that's all you have to do is follow that plan.
Right.
The problem with them is that they don't ever say, and then what?
Right.
Okay.
What's
what
next?
do you do on day 15 of a 4-day plan? Okay.
Absolutely.
I always tell people the easiest thing to do is take 1 day off and then repeat the plan.
Right. Get right
so
back
if somebody's
on
going to do a 21-day plan, okay, then do 21 days, commit to it 100%, rest on the day 22, okay, and then start the plan over.
Start it over again.
Okay. And again, there's a gazillion different plans, and really, to tell you the truth, some of them are just flat crazy.
Yes.
Okay. But the advantage is your commitment level to a set number of days. You can commit to a 6-day plan. That's the one I like, because it fits easy into our 7-day week. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so you make a 6-day plan, rest on the 7th day, repeat the 6-day plan. And again, it stays real simple that way. But you can do the 14-day shred if you want.
Right.
But again, what do you do afterwards? That's the problem. Because we got 365 days coming up, and hopefully you have several thousands of days left coming up to deal with. What do you do on those?
That's what we do. When we meet with someone on nutrition, we meet with them for 5 months. It's an extensive program where we tell you exactly what to eat, where to buy it from, how to prepare it, what to order when you eat out, what you should be drinking, what to do when you travel, any vitamins and minerals you should be replacing with. We tell you everything, and we really care about how you feel. So we focus on how you feel first, and looking great just comes right along with that. So it isn't something where we're constantly chasing a number. We're educating you and giving you the scientific background behind food so that you build a foundation and know what to do afterwards. So what we do is we set up a challenge for a lifetime. We don't do the 14-day shred or the 21-day cut or any 30-day Biggest Loser. We do let's see if we can change your lifestyle and help you to maintain and sustain that lifestyle forever. And if I were to work with someone and see them 6 months down the road not doing well after they've worked with me for 5 months, I'll chase them down. I will lasso them, put them in my car, and I will work with them literally for free to get them back on track. I care.
And that's one thing
I care they're okay.
Yeah, that's one thing I always tell people is whether you hire me or hire Debbie or hire somebody like Debbie and myself, hire somebody.
Right.
Okay? The worst person that you can listen to on diet and nutrition advice is yourself.
Absolutely.
Because when you're in control of the game, you can change all the rules anytime you want.
Yes.
But if you commit to someone else, commit to them. Just like if you're committing to a 14-day plan or a 6-day plan or a 21-day plan or a 300-day plan.
Right.
Commit to something and then give yourself to that system.
Yes.
And that's one great thing about her 5-month nutrition plan is that you're committed to do what she tells you to do because you paid her to do it.
Right, exactly.
You're gonna actually do it. You got skin in the game. The stuff about it is after that, hire someone. Rehire her. Okay? Yeah. Rehire someone. Because believe me, everyone out there fails themselves and they always make an excuse of why they failed and then they excuse themselves and they go about their business and forget about it.
And they go back to feeling bad. They go back to being overweight and feeling bad and having high blood pressure and blood sugar.
If you've driven your car into the ditch 1 time and 10 times and 100 times and 1,000 times, guess what? You're probably not a real good driver.
Right.
Put somebody else in the driver's seat, let them do it and go.
That's that's so important. And the thing is what do you have to lose? You've already tried it and tried it and tried it and tried it and failed and failed and failed and failed.
Yeah.
And this isn't the time to be chintzy. This isn't the time to look for a sale. This is your health. This is your life. This is your blood pressure. This is your blood sugar. This is inflammation. This is getting rid of all those issues that you've been dealing with from having all that extra weight for all those years. Look for someone who's committed, someone who's going to get in the game with you, someone who's literally going to take ownership of your situation and they want to see you change your life. And they teach you about food and give you the tools that it takes to really understand how to live a healthy life. It's so much more than macros. It's like mind, body, spirit. And Roger's been talking about discipline and commitment just as much as we're talking about blood sugar control and carbs and fats and proteins. It all works together. And there's of course a body movement component, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit as well. But there is like a cleansing, I believe, that kind of comes in when a person first starts a program. Your body is going to go through a little bit of a detox. If someone's doing a ketogenic diet, they might call it the keto flu. If someone's doing a cleanse, then they might literally just call it a detox. But the reality is if you go from eating garbage to eating clean, there's going to be a moment where your body is going to try to transfer all the junk out of you. And that process of elimination can be somewhat exhausting, which will make you feel like you are somewhat detoxing because your lymphatic system is really working to get rid of stuff. That is a process. I always tell people when they ask me, what's the best cleanse, Debbie? Like they're always looking for, which I seriously have tried every cleanse that there is because for so many years I didn't know what was wrong with me, so I always thought like I'm just not doing the right weight loss program. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm just not on the right diet. Like, surely the next diet's going to be the best diet to help me lose weight and to make it to where I don't have to do an hour's worth of cardio every day. But it turned out that wasn't the case. It turned out I had health issues. So I was always trying that next best cleanse to try to see if my body would ignite. And what ended up being the very best cleanse, and in terms of my clients, what's been the best cleanse, and everything I've ever read has proven to be the best cleanse, is simple. Fasting. Yep. There's nothing fancy about it. Just fasting.
Real easy.
Why is fasting? Why is taking that whole day, Roger, like that whole next day and not eating anything, like why is that so helpful to the body?
Well,
I like the way he explains it scientifically. I actually know.
Whenever you think about it, the body's in constant struggle of staying in something that we call homeostasis. A homeostasis is basically to where the body feels most comfortable. Every time a person eats, you're throwing yourself out of homeostasis. Every time your body, and you spend the rest of the time not eating, getting back into homeostasis. And that, we need that on a constant, regular basis. We need to get to that homeostasis. But every time that you eat, you set up a pharmacy in your body.
Yes.
And the body's moving switches and throwing buttons and everything to try to get back into homeostasis. But when you stop eating, the body gets settled back into homeostasis. It basically resets itself on an hourly basis after that.
Yeah.
So again, it's kind of one of those things that it's something we're meant to do, because if we weren't meant to do it, we'd be like fruit flies and just have to eat 24 hours a day,
right,
or we died. Again,
right.
That's not the case. We're designed to kind of go without food.
Yeah.
So again, you know, the other thing about it is that when a person stops eating and does go through the fasting period, is after about 12 hours, you enter a state that's called autophagy. And autophagy is basically where the body actually starts reclaiming old cells in itself by the new cells. So
yes.
Your new cells, your stem cells, are actually the baby cells. And the baby cells go and eat the older cells. Now, of course, it sounds kind of weird, but it's something that your body has to do.
Yes.
And it's kind of a vacuuming event on your body to where you're cleaning out the old cells. The greatest thing about that in recent medical standards is the fact that all the diseases that we have are actually from old cells.
Yeah.
You have to get rid of those cells. And the best way to do it is restrict yourself from calories. Yeah. There's all kinds of different fasting. There's 1 day fast, there's 5 day fast, there's 3 hour fasts.
Yes.
Okay? But you need fasting. But for autophagy to occur, humans need about 12 hours for that to occur.
And just today I posted a great article on autophagy. So if you go out to Debbie Portell on Facebook and friend me, you'll be able to get that article, as well as if you like the Integrity Training Systems Facebook page. It's an excellent article on it, because I always talk about, you know, that's the best fast. So start with, at dinner tonight, telling yourself, I'm not going to eat until dinner tomorrow night. If you do it, drink water all throughout the day. And I would also suggest taking about a fingertips full of sea salt 2 to 3 times all throughout the day. So right when you first wake up, maybe around noon, and then maybe in the afternoon, just to balance your minerals. Then have dinner at 5 o'clock tomorrow night. Then you'll be able to look forward to having dinner the entire day. Then next Sunday, do it, and don't have dinner at 5 o'clock. Maybe just drink some bone broth until you go to bed that night and see how you do. And then the next day, wake up and have breakfast. Then on the third week, have dinner on Sunday night and go into Monday. Don't drink the bone broth. Don't have the dinner. And I bet you anything, you'll feel great. And the more fat adapted that your body gets, meaning the further away you get from sugar and becoming a sugar burner, where your body's always waiting for that next insulin log to be inserted into the furnace, you will be better at fasting. Being a fat adapted person means that your body's going to be much more likely to access stored body fat and use it for energy.
And that's key, because of the fact, when a body is used to burning your blood, your incoming food, okay, the easy to come by source of blood sugar,
yeah,
which is just everyday food
whatever
out there.
Eat, yeah,
yeah, your body's basically has to have enzymes to be able to break that down and make it usable. Well, if you have billions and trillions of different enzymes to be a sugar burner,
yeah,
or a constant food burner, or I eat crap all the time burner, well, those are the enzymes you get. You have. Your body doesn't have extra enzymes on hand. So whenever a person starts eating clean or fasting or doing anything at all, your enzymes don't all of a sudden put on a different cap and say, I'm going from a incoming sugar burner to an outgoing fat burner.
Right.
They don't have they just don't clock in a different number or something.
Right.
You have to get rid of the old enzymes and hire new enzymes.
Yeah.
So again, there is a phasing out process.
Yes.
But during this time, if a person doesn't feel very good for a couple of days, that's okay, because your body's going through an upheaval to get rid of the old enzymes and grow new enzymes, yes, to do the new work.
And each time you fast, it's going to get better and better.
Better, because then you'll have those fasting enzymes.
You will.
Those enzymes that know how to access your stored body fat to get rid of the old cells.
And you will have kind of protected your blood sugar. You will have created a continuous blood sugar pattern, meaning you're not spiking and collapsing and always running off of sugar. You will have gotten to a point to where you have a more balanced diet. Therefore, your body's going to be okay to go a little bit longer without food. If you eat cheesecake right before you go to bed, the next day if you decide to fast, you're going to have some struggle because your body's still going to be in a sugar burning state. So as you get yourself to a point where you are on a more balanced diet, that fast is going to be easier and easier. That's something that we work with when we work with folks with nutrition, is we assist them through the fasting process and let them know how and when it is appropriate. And then we're there as a contact, as they go through the process to try to work them through it. That's part of our 5-month nutrition program.
Yeah, I've had people in the first 3 to 5 days feel amazing. They're just like, I can't believe how great I've had other people like, man, I tell you what, the first 3 days I was ready to quit.
Right, exactly.
But then after that, I felt fine.
Right.
Again, that's the body. Everybody's a little bit different of what they have to get rid of and what they need to bring in and make new to make what you're doing work right.
Yeah. No, we were talking about stem cells, and I always tell someone, if they're getting ready to embark on a brand new healthy, endeavor where they're going to try to be as healthy as possible and they really want to change their lifestyle, I always suggest doing a glutathione injection, because a glutathione injection just gets your body to where that immune system starts to become more mighty and more powerful. Dr. Richard Bly is my doctor. He's actually my primary care physician that I've gone to for many years, and I use him for hormone replacement therapy. I've also worked with him for my thyroid and my Hashimoto's. He does stem cell therapy, like Roger was talking about earlier, the importance of the stem cells and improving those stem cells. He also has an entire boutique of, just different types of medical treatments that he provides. But I go in every 2 weeks for a glutathione injection, and it has really worked to help improve my immune system. That, with fasting and a healthy, balanced diet, it's really tough to beat. I mean, you really start to feel great. I would put yourself on a team with successful leaders. Go to O'Fallon Nutrition for quality products. Go to Pure Plates to get your food made. Come to us at Integrity for a 5-month nutrition program and have someone guide you through the process. Then go to someone like Dr. Richard Bly and have him take your medicine to a different level and make it proactive medicine. He will look at your blood work differently than any other doctor ever has. For more information on Dr. Richard Bly, you can take a look at him at drbly, BLIGHMD.com, or call their office at 314-994-1534.
That was one thing about Dr. Bly that, I've known him for, over 20 years. Mm-hmm. And one thing about him that's different about the other doctors in town, and when I say the doctors in his class, the ones that specialize in longevity and health and benefits, and, in other words, if you got a broken arm, don't go to him necessarily.
Right.
Go to the emergency room. But if somebody's wanting to improve their health, one thing I've noticed about him is he is always on to the thing that's coming in 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
I mean, when I'm talking about stuff, it's always cool to talk to him, because I'm like, oh yeah, I was just talking about that.
Right,
yeah,
right.
It's stuff that nobody else is talking about. But in 5 years, there are books all over the place about.
Yes, right.
And he's the one doctor. And he's continually learning and learning and learning on the newest and greatest stuff. And he's okay with letting go of the old stuff.
Yes.
He's like, okay, well, we don't need this anymore because we have this new thing that's better. And he's just smart like that.
I know. I mean,
craving knowledge. It's just amazing.
He is, and he's always been that way. Like I've gone to him for probably 11 years now, and I mean, from day one, that's how he's always been with me.
I told you to go to him.
Right, you did, and we've sent I can't even count the amount of people that we've sent to Dr. Bly. He can be a primary care physician, which he is to me, but you can also just go to him for hormone replacement. But you can also just go to his office to get a glutathione injection, or to do the NAD treatment for your brain, or to do the stem cell. Like he doesn't have to be your primary care physician. I would definitely take a look at Dr. Bly. It's building a team. Like I said, higher integrity. Have them help you with your nutrition. Have Dr. Bly help with your medicine. Have O'Fallon Nutrition helping you with the supplements.
Go to Pure Place.
Pure Place with the food.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you've got to build a team of people that really know what they're doing and also kind of work together on a similar platform. All right, so Roger, there's the other obvious component to getting started, which is movement and exercise. You know, if for those of you that don't know, the reason I know Roger is because many years ago, I decided to compete in bodybuilding competitions, and he did my nutrition when I competed, and I was a personal trainer. He was a gym owner. He owned Powerhouse at the time, and he had moved here from Springfield, Missouri, where he owned a fitness center there and had been in the fitness industry for many years prior to even moving to St. Louis, and worked with me on my nutrition. I worked with him for a couple years, and eventually he said, do you want to work here? So I ended up working at Powerhouse as a personal trainer, and then started to do nutrition more and more and really just kind of got to where nutrition was what I did primarily. But Roger has seen people come and go. It's different owning a personal training, gym like I do, where when people come in, they're ready for some results. They're paying by the hour. So they're ready to get some results, and they're expecting some results, and they're pretty committed. When someone comes in and pays a monthly membership at a gym, their commitment is always like, so-so. We don't always know how long they're going to stick with it. What's it going to take? Roger's Gym has always been different because, we always offered nutrition programs like what we do. So he was able to help people get results. But, movement is part of it. And there has to be kind of a staged process to getting yourself moving again. Of course, walking in the door and getting the membership is part of it. Or walking in the door and meeting with a trainer is part of it. But we've always done a free personal fitness assessment. And Roger did that in his, fitness centers. And then, of course, Integrity does it. And that's what we offer. But what I want to tell you is meet with someone. I mean, just meet with someone. Don't just try to blindly go into a gym and get it figured out. I don't care what age you are. I don't care what type of condition you're in. Just meet with someone and have them identify where your weaknesses are. My second point is identify your weaknesses, because before you start weight training, you really need to know what's weak on you, what needs to be stretched, what needs to be foam rolled, where you need mobility work. And if you've met with a personal trainer and they immediately took you out on the floor and started doing burpees with you and jumping jacks, and they've got you, throwing balls and throwing ropes, that's not a good idea. You need to try to find a different personal trainer.
In the metro area here, there's around 6,000 certified trainers.
Yeah.
The bad part of that is that less than 2% of them would be considered competent. So, I mean, you really have to understand that the person that's in charge of your training program needs to be competent.
In so many different ways. They might be a great bodybuilder, and they might be one of the best people in St. Louis for weight training, but if they don't know how to stretch you and they don't know how to get you opened up, will their bodybuilding expertise really be able to work? Yeah. Will it really make the difference?
And that's the thing of it is, the bodybuilding aspect of it is kind of the weird little part of the fitness industry. If you're going to a bodybuilder or an upper level fitness enthusiast, basically you're going to someone that looks good. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're really, really smart in how to make other people look good.
Right.
It could just be, by accident. It could just be that they were blessed with certain genes. They're younger, whatever.
Right.
But again, are they smarter?
Yes.
And that's one thing about the personal trainers in the area. You don't really have to be that smart sometimes.
Right.
I know some trainers that weren't real smart that passed the test, but they couldn't get through Debbie's training program at all.
Right.
Not even close. Wouldn't even try really.
Right.
Because she said, okay, you read that book. Okay, no, you have to read this book. And brought out this really big, thick book with big words in it. And they're like, okay, yeah, I'll go do that. And a month later, it's like, have you read the book? No, I have that book. I've looked it over. I'm really okay. Well, how about this? And as she'll ask him a question, they're like, "Oh, well, That's not really the way I do it. It's like, okay, you didn't read the book.
Right.
You didn't even look at the pictures.
Right. Right.
Okay. Your book hasn't made it out of your back seat since she gave it to you.
Right.
Okay. Because it's a really, really hard book.
Yeah.
But all of her stuff is based out of that book, and she's changed it in so many different ways that you have to be able to read and understand that book before you can even start to be a trainer with her.
Yeah.
Because she's expanded on it so many different ways to where she can actually change the body through training.
Yes.
That's why her trainers are exceptional. And again, I'm not saying there aren't any other exceptional trainers in town. There are. There were a few that worked for me.
Yeah.
Matt, that was our CrossFit trainer.
He's great. Yeah.
Brilliant dude, smart.
Right.
Okay. Again, you can find them, but every now and then a blind squirrel finds a nut.
Right.
You don't want to go about it trying to go through 50 different trainers. Go to somebody who is competent. If you don't know, just ask her. She'll tell you who's competent.
Right.
She knows them.
And
or ask me, I know them.
Right, and what you want to look for is, do they care about your flexibility and your weaknesses first? Are they only trying to put you on a scale and measure your body fat? We don't even put someone on a scale. We don't even measure their body fat. We will do it if they ask us to. No problem. If that's the way they want to track progression, we'll do it all day long. That's not even what we're here for. We go through a 50-minute assessment to try to identify where someone's weaknesses are. How tight are their hips? What are they working with? Are they trap dominant? Is that why they're getting headaches? Is that why they're not growing their lats? Do they not have the chest that they're looking for because they've never even worked their back the way that they should, and nothing's getting engaged? Are their hamstrings showing signs of what is that? What am I trying to say? Where in your hamstrings? Well, just like if it looks like you have cellulite. So are your hamstrings showing signs of that? Well, that's probably because your hips have turned under. So many times when your hamstrings are showing signs of cellulite, it's just because you're actually out of balance.
It's all compressed.
Yeah,
it's in the wrong direction.
You just really need to have someone come and change your flexibility and change your mobility in your hips so that your hamstrings can suddenly look more lengthened, and then you don't appear as if you have cellulite. Or a saddlebag, for example, when your hips get turned under, you push down on your hamstrings and your hamstrings push out
on your quads.
So it looks like you have a saddlebag. But if I can turn your hips slightly forward, lift your glutes up, lengthen your hamstrings, that side starts to come in, and then it also
makes all of your alignment.
You just really have to have someone that's looking at alignment first. So you really shouldn't be taken out on the floor until they've identified where your structural weaknesses are. They're not a chiropractor. They're not going to adjust you or do anything like that, but they are going to teach you how to stretch. They are going to teach you how to foam roll to get your fascia moving and unlocked. And then they're going to teach you mobility to get your brain connecting with some of those areas to get it to move properly. This is extremely important. If you're hiring a personal trainer, they have to care about those items. And if they don't, you really need to find another gym that does. We've always offered that assessment for free. Literally, we don't charge for it.
Yeah.
And we should. It's great data.
And even about the trainers, I was talking about the 6,000 in the area and having maybe 30 of them being really competent in personal training.
Super excellent. And they pay attention to all that,
The other part of it is being competent in the nutrition part of it.
Right.
Okay. And those 30 competent trainers that I mentioned, believe me, they're not competent in nutrition. Okay. Because those are two different industries.
Right, absolutely.
She's the only person that I know that's really super competent personal trainer and really super competent nutrition at the same time. Even when it comes to personal training, I just send them to her. I'm just like, I'm the nutrition dude. Okay, I know training, but when it comes to the really super complex part of it, it would be kind of like being a doctor and a lawyer on a high level. It's really tough stuff because
it really is.
And again, and even about the relationship. If you're trying to go through nutrition with your personal trainer, I highly suggest not to because it's a different relationship.
It is.
Even the people that she trains, she does nutrition with, she'll have them train with someone else.
I do.
Because it's a different relationship.
Yes.
Okay? Your trainer is your trainer.
Yes.
And you see them 3-4 times a week. Okay? The nutrition dude or girl, you see them once every 2 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
Okay?
We see every 3 weeks.
And it's a different relationship because we have to control their aspect of their lives. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 5 months.
Right.
Okay. All of a sudden, you're dealing with 200 and some days where the trainer, they're dealing with you for an hour a day.
Right.
There's a different psychological aspect of it
Yes.
in dealing with somebody 24 hours a day, and dealing with somebody for 1 hour, a couple times a week, 2 hours a week.
Absolutely. And I don't want it to come across as just a sales ploy for personal training, but if I can give you any advice to start the first of the year on how to get started in a healthy lifestyle, it's hire someone to help you, especially in the gym. Especially in the gym. It is the first place you're going to get injured. It is the first place you're going to do the wrong exercises for your body and for your imbalances, and you're going to further the imbalances, and you're not going to end up with the body that you're looking for. I know so many guys that have huge traps, they don't have a chest, and they don't have any lats because they're completely lifting the wrong way. Again, all of those areas that I talked about before with the hamstrings and the cellulite and the saddlebags, these are all issues that end up coming on because you're not focusing on getting the right mobility, the right flexibility, and the right exercises in. So if I can give you one piece of advice, it would be, please get someone to assist you with it. Don't just try to do it on your own. Try to get someone to come in and take responsibility over your flexibility, your mobility, and identify where your weaknesses are. If the person you're meeting with has not tried to identify your weaknesses, then scratch it. It's the wrong place. Don't buy 24 sessions until you figure out if they have or not.
And everybody, if you're wondering whose bear claw that is back there with a watch on it, that's John.
Hi. I came into Video Bomb and talk about being assessed and being weak because that's what you did to me. So
Yeah, that's good. That's good. It is what we did with John. Is we
It
did
is.
we
It
did
did look
assess
like a
him.
bear claw back there
My
with a
hand
watch
just
on
standing
it.
there. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, when I first came in and met with her, I was shaped like this. You know, I was so round and trap dominant that I couldn't do anything right. I remember the first time, I told the story this morning, the first time I rode with you, you had me sit down and I was trying to look impressive and the max stack was 240 and you're like, pick something and do a set of 10. So I set it to 240 and did a set of 10 and you were like, okay. And so you set it to 130 and you're like, let's try that again. And I'm like looking at this weight like, when we do it 100 times or, and so then you come around and put your knee in my back, pull my shoulders back, sit me upright and get me to properly engage my lats. And I couldn't even row that weight.
The
And I'm like,
130.
what is that? And you're like, the muscles you're supposed to row with. Because I didn't understand that my structure was actually preventing me from being able to use the right muscles, which is a problem for a lot of reasons. You can't train the muscles, can't change them, but then that's how you get hurt. And that's what happened to me.
Right.
John, when I first met John, he was actually wanting to be a movie star.
Yeah.
And he was going to try out for the new Ghostbuster movie, and he was
Yes.
going to be the Stay Puft Marshmallow
Yes.
dude. Okay.
And
And I said, dude, you look just like that.
Well-
and so then he started working with Debbie.
Right.
And like 2 years later, I'm like, dude, there's no way you can be the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man
Right.
anymore. You don't look like a marshmallow.
Well, no,
but now he's going to be the lead singer for ZZ Top.
Right?
There you go.
Exactly.
Make the changes.
Or some sort of Viking or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this my discovery video?
I
Should
guess
This
so.
is it, yeah.
Like-
Yeah,
This-
right,
this-
exactly.
This is that E-True stories thing, you know?
Right.
Right,
We're going to
exactly.
follow you around with a camera
Yes.
from now on.
Yeah, well, that's good. I like that.
One thing that is neat that John did pop in is that one thing I could say is John is a trainer here, and all of our trainers have worked with me at some point. I mean, you know, they
And
all
not
have
all of them look like
stories.
Vikings.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, they all have stories to tell. They've lost weight, they've gained weight, they have health issues, they've overcome major
Well,
injuries.
again, the commitment level to be able to work here is so much more because, again, it's not just reading a book and taking a weekend course. It's
Right.
not just reading a really thick, complicated book, but it's reading a thick, complicated book, taking that course, and then getting into your course. It's really hard.
Yes, it is.
I
And-
don't want to do it.
and
I wouldn't do it.
One thing I can tell you is get started. Just get started. Get moving. Get on your treadmill at home.
Make
start,
that commitment.
Yes,
Yeah.
start walking. Start doing something. Don't not get started. If you have a gym at work, get started. But get someone to assist you and give you a plan. I know for us and our gym, for the month of January, we have 3 personal training sessions for $150. That's That's like nothing.
Chump change.
I mean, we normally charge, $65 a session for training. So to get 3 of them for $150 is a great deal. It's a really good way to get
We're coming for a free assessment.
That would be even better.
Deal.
Right, exactly.
That costs nothing, right?
And the assessment will teach you so much about just identifying where your weaknesses are. You really need to be able to identify those weaknesses. So for more information on that, just take a look at us at integritytraininggroup.com or call us for that free personal fitness assessment at 636-299-2208. And for more information on a 5-month nutrition program, again, we're going to tell you exactly what to eat, where to buy it, how to prepare it. We give you a cookbook, what to order when you eat out, what to do when you travel, what vitamins to buy at O'Fallon Nutrition. I mean, it's all laid out for you, and we hold you accountable, and we try to give you the support and assistance and just be there with you every step of the way. But what we most importantly teach you through the whole process is discipline and the understanding that motivation is always going to run out, but discipline is what will keep you going and what will help you to make this a lifestyle. Thank you for being here, Roger. I'm so glad that we were able to do this, and I hope that you all...
It's weird doing it with a camera because, again, I mean, like I'm down here playing with I don't know what to do with my hands.
I know. I've been doing this the whole entire time with my hands.
You're like this. I'm like, I don't know.
We're trying to keep it low so you guys don't see it, but I've been all over the place with my hands. But for those of you that are listening, one thing I can say is because we don't have the, listening radio of 97.1 any longer, what I'd like to ask is when you listen to this on SoundCloud or on Apple Podcasts, if you would click that share button, share us on Facebook, share us in a text message, share us in an email. We would really appreciate it because
that's the perfect way to start a fitness program is you click it and that's fitness.
Absolutely.
You're burning calories.
That's right.
Sharing.
That's
liking.
right.
It's like I'm exercising.
It'll bless somebody with this information where that's what we did the radio show for. We were trying to help people. So please, if you can, we would love it and really appreciate it if you'd share it. And thank you all so much for listening and God bless you. And if you were to have information that you would like to have discussed for future podcasts, please send us a private message. Just Facebook friend me, Debbie Portell, or go out to Integrity Training Systems and like the page. Send us a private message and just let us know. You can also look for both myself and Integrity Training Systems on Instagram. We're out there every day.
Don't look for me because you won't find me.
I know, he's just not findable. Other than these little videos, that's all you're going to see.
Yeah, you'll see me with her and that's it. That's all.
He's in hiding. He put his years in. His time's been put in. He's good to go. He gets a break. Thank you all for listening and God bless you.